At the beginning of February, I read around 140 volumes, which is around 27% of my whole collection. The difficulty I'm finding is that I need to read more than I purchase, which at the moment I'm able to do, but I've got things in order and I don't think it will last much longer. This month I read 7 series and I want to talk about some of the singles that I had purchased. As always, there'll be no spoilers. I'll just be giving a brief overview. And continuing from last month, I read volume 2 of Marshall, Magic and Muscle. Marsh makes a couple of friends in this volume. We also see the introduction of an organization which are after gold coins, being the thing that Marsh is trying to collect. It's extremely funny. So many battles happen. They look absolutely amazing. It's fantastic. I just really can't wait for volume 3 to hopefully come out soon. I finished volumes 3 and 4 of Boys Run the Riot. I've spoken several times about this series and there's nothing negative I can say about it, to be honest. You'll be able to relate to at least one person, if not multiple people in this series, because we've all gone through the experience of being a teenager, or maybe you're going through it right now. The main theme in this series, well, for me anyway, is acceptance. Our main cast have so many people that just don't accept them for their gender identity, their hobbies, even their lifestyle choices, and they take action to show that no one, not even family, will stop them from living their lives that will ultimately make them happy. I had a big smile on my face when I finished the series, and despite this cover, there's no catwalk. It's false advertisement. That's my only negative comment. I was told to bring tissues for this one, though I didn't cry. I did well up just a little bit. Stargazing Dog follows Happy the dog and his life with his owners. It's a single volume, so time moves relatively quickly, at least initially. Half of the dialogue is monologued by the pup, with the rest of it by Daddy, who mainly talks to the pup or himself, or just people they kind of come across. Mostly in a few words at a time and rarely in long sentences. It's pretty light dialogue wise. The ending is told in the first couple of pages, but it's more about their short journey together and less about the destination. It starts off happy and then it kind of not so happy. There's not really a negative I could say. The only thing I could say is that it's actually printed in reverse, so you read it from left to right, which doesn't affect any of the images. In fact, it doesn't affect anything at all. You just notice that the hiragana and katakana characters are switched around. That's all really. If you can find it for a good price, I would say pick it up, definitely. Maybe pick up a pack of tissues as well if you're a little bit emotional or sensitive. And then lastly, for the singles, I read volume 2 of Vinland Saga. We continue to see Thorfinn's drive and passion for his goal. He has this amazing fight sequence with Thorkel, who is introduced into this volume. Huge, not only in stature, but also in his strength and reputation. I love how almost every new Viking character instantly becomes an important part of the story. Towards the second half of the volume, Thorfinn takes more of a side character role, rarely showing up and mainly just looming in the background. It focuses more on Askeladd, the leader of the group that we're following, who I really hate, but I love it when he's on the page. He's smart, he's cunning, he's always thinking ahead. I love to hate him. That's the honest truth. The artwork also just doesn't really give up. It's just so beautiful. Next, I have 3 series that I binged all available volumes of. The first being My Dress Up Darling, everyone's favorite anime at the moment. I haven't watched it myself. I'm definitely enjoying it maybe more than I should do. Maybe just because it's my first rom-com. Gojo likes to make clothes and paint the faces of Hinodolls, and his classmate Marin wants to become a cosplayer. She's no good at making any of the clothes, so she asks Gojo if he could do it for her. And that's the premise. It's noted as a slice of life romance comedy. The slice of life elements are definitely there. You know, they talk about what costumes to make next. They talk about their hobbies when they go out shopping, you know, for materials. It's really wholesome. And the romance, though it's not there initially, you can kind of see a relationship blooming. Whether or not it will be in the next few volumes or towards the end, we don't know, but it's almost inevitable. However, the element missing from this is probably ecchi. Now, with making clothes means you have to take measurements, so you can only imagine what Gojo has to go through to get those measurements. And also with cosplay, Marin has to try them on, so she's frequently getting undressed and showing her bare skin. And some of the panels are so zoomed in that it's probably not one that you would want to read on the train. And now that I think about it, it makes sense why the manga was shrink wrapped. Nonetheless, It is really good. Maybe I'm biased because it is my first real rom-com that I've ever read, but it's good. I enjoyed it. And I mentioned before that February is the month that the first Legend of Zelda game came out back in 1986, almost as old as I am. I'll probably do a separate video on all of these, but this is everything that I've read. I purchased some of them last month also. So we have Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, which also includes A Link to the Past. Then we have Oracle of Seasons and Oracle of Age book, Four Swords, and then lastly the Minish Cap and Phantom Hourglass. Now Hyrule Historia, which is like a massive encyclopedia index for the Legend of Zelda series, also includes a single chapter for Skyward Sword. I've also included that onto my little manga spreadsheet. Probably don't really have to, but I have either way. And then finally, I read One Punch Man. I read up to volume 20 because I'm still waiting for volume 21 to 23, which is currently out. If you like superheroes, comedy, amazingly drawn fight sequences and backdrops, I think this is definitely one for you. With Saitama killing monsters in one punch, it's hard to imagine how the story could go on for so long. The series reads pretty fast, though there are some heavy dialogue moments, but for the most part, it's pretty quick to read through. I'm into all the superheroes, the story isn't too complex, which is nice. It starts off with a Monster of the Week kind of feel to it, but the current Hero Hunter arc with Garo is really good. Little slow to start from around volumes 11 to 13, but it soon picks up. I hear the arc is going on a little too long, but with such an extensive cast of characters, it's inevitably going to happen. Plus Saitama will just beat the main guy in one punch anyway, so why rush the whole experience if you ask me. I also checked out One's original webcomic of the series, but there is so much more added to this redrawn that I think it just gives it so much more depth. So if you want something that's quicker, I would suggest reading the webcomic, although the art is definitely not great. After all that reading, I am up to 180 volumes, which is a 4% increase from last month, giving me a 33% total read. Yay! March may be a little bit heavier on the purchases. I have something planned that I'm hopefully gonna go through with. If not, then I do have some backups, but for the most part, I think my average is around 34 volumes reading, so hopefully I can just keep that up. And I don't know, I'm expecting the number to go down, but hopefully it goes up. But yeah, that's everything that I've read. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you've been reading for the past couple of weeks, months, and yeah, I'll see you next time.